I'm back with another video. Today we're gonna do something maybe a little bit different than the things that I normally do. I'm gonna go a little bit more in depth with feelings. This is something that I think is a pretty common topic among exchange students, especially when they come back and they kind of like see the differences that have happened since they went on exchange and once they came back, and especially with like going over to another country again soon and having a year back in the States, it kind of has given me a lot of insight into how I've changed. Mostly how I was before exchange versus like now. So this is gonna be more geared towards my exchange, obviously. It's really weird for people who are around past exchange students who knew them beforehand to see the differences. And so this is like in a way my confession to myself and to the internet about how I have changed. I'm talking too much. Let's just get into this. So I'm gonna start with the things that like really were like Thailand based, I guess. Probably the biggest thing that I saw when I came back was how much more relaxed I was about everything. Before I went on exchange, I had like a lot of stress and anxiety when it came to planning things. Like I was actually one of those like kids at the age of 12 who'd had their entire life plan mapped out for them, and it was actually kind of weird because I kept on like going along with that until about after exchange. I think I have kind of internalized the idea of my penlai in Thai, which is like no problem, don't worry about it. It's like it's a really big part of the Thai culture, and it's something that I think I really have internalized, and people who are around me who knew me beforehand have really told me how relaxed I am as opposed to how I was before I went to Thailand. A lot of the Thai customs have also rubbed off on me, especially after like living in a household of a very, very different culture than your own for an entire year. I think it's almost impossible for that not to wear off on you. And so there's a couple things that I literally like get weirded out by now that I like would have thought was hilarious before I went on exchange. Like for example, I cannot eat with a knife anymore. In Thailand they use a spoon in the right hand and a fork in the left hand, and I literally cannot eat any other way. Like anyone who has ever eaten with me, they're like, what are you doing? There's a knife like right there. What's even better is like when I'm like having a normal meal and I have to ask the waiter or waitress for a spoon because I can't eat without one. Thailand exchange student problems. Also, feet creep me out now. Like, not in the way that you would think, but how if I see someone with their feet like pointed towards me, like the bottoms of their feet, like I get like really like awkward, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're like their feet are like, and a lot of people now think it's really funny because whenever my legs are crossed, I do that thing where I'm like, oh no, 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 can't be crossed, and it's awkward. Also having to do with the Thai Y, with my Thai friends at school, I didn't really ever do this. I kind of just did like a slight bow of the head, like, oh hi, how are you? Oh, thank you, thank you. And I do that now a lot. And I do that basically anytime that like I say like, oh excuse me, I'm like, oh I'm so sorry, like to a random stranger, and I think that it probably looks like really strange. Also, Thai people have a very big fascination with being super pasty pale, and I am pale and I burn easy, and so I actually kind of got used to being like, oh yeah, I'm pale, that's cool, like I'm pale. And now being in Miami, I literally hide from the sun and I go out with long sleeve shirts so that way I don't burn my skin, and it's weird. I was at my aunt's house near a pool and I asked her for an umbrella because I didn't want to get burned. That's how bad it is. Also, I think this really varies from family to family in America, but my family never really cared about having the shoes off in the house, and after Thailand, I literally cannot go around inside my house with shoes on. I always have to have slippers. Like, I'm wearing slippers right now, and actually I get a little bit annoyed when I see people in my house with their shoes on, including my own family. This is something that I'm pretty sure that every exchange student has the problem of, but whenever I am trying to think of maybe a little bit more uncommonly used word. I have a really hard time thinking about it in English. I always like go to a different language, especially after trying to learn Japanese as well. I have like 3 languages like jumbled up in my mind, and I'm like not exactly sure which one I should be using, and I'm always like, sidetrack story. But when I came back from going up to Canada this winter, and I was speaking Thai with Allison and Melanie, obviously, like as much as we could, and my roommate came back from like visiting her family, and of course she was speaking Italian, and we both had like these moments where we'd look at each other, we'd be like, you know, the thing, the flat thing, like you put stuff up, table. That happens still, and it's been a year. In fact, it happens really frequently. Or I just like accidentally like slip into Thai. What was even worse is in my Japanese class, is like certain aspects of the language I tried to remember through Thai because it was just easier that way. So for example, Japanese word for yes is hai, and one of the ways of saying yes in Thai is chai, and I accidentally said chai in my Japanese class to my sensei. That was embarrassing. Something I think also a lot of exchange students have a problem of, but especially for me, is once I've come back, like I can't talk about anything else that's like not really traveling for too long. Like it's not exciting to me to be talking about anything else other than traveling and like, oh, this one time in Thailand. Oh, yes, I want to go there. Oh, yes, I know a person there. Oh, yeah, I heard about that. I really would like to do that. Like, so yeah, that's like all I really talk about anymore, and I'm sure that it gets really annoying for some people. And on the same like note of that, it's like kind of hard for me to relate to new people, like meeting new people, unless they've like been traveling, or they want to travel, or they know a language, or they want to learn a language that I've been trying to learn or do know. And it gets a little bit awkward after a while, like trying to meet new people, because you're trying to always find that common ground that you find so interesting to learn about and to talk about, and it's just, it doesn't work for meeting people who haven't traveled. Also, something that's a problem for me is that like all of my money and time goes to like thinking about travel or buying things for travel. So for my free time, I look up ways to be traveling. Like I have an entire tab on my computer that says travel opportunities, and I just keep on bookmarking them and hoping that one day I can do them all, even though there's no possibility that I'd have any time to do all of that because it's a ridiculous amount. But I still look it up and I still keep on doing that, and it's time consuming and it costs a lot of money, but I still love it, and anyone who travels or wants to travel, it is worth it, but it's a problem. Okay, that's it. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Sorry for this awkwardness. I don't even know what this has been today. I hope that this turns out okay. Like, I hope that I don't have to like refilm it or something like that because I feel so awkward. So, yeah, okay, thanks everyone. Bye. Some quick roundup news that I have. I got the Gilman Scholarship for study abroad, which is really exciting, and one part of that is me actually having to do a video after I come back from exchange about it. So if you guys have any scholarship questions, like put them down below, and that way I can like kind of start compiling like how I want to do this, because I want that video to be really nice, because it's like basically me saying thank you for getting that scholarship. So put any questions you guys have below about like money issues, about going on exchange or traveling, or just anything when it comes to that. So yeah, leave your comments below. Okay, thanks everyone. Bye.